Hi, TikTok. I need your help. My little puppy, Gus Gus, needs.
So this pet parent just about a week and a half ago adopted this 9-month-old puppy from a farm, and they are now living in the city. And the dog is incredibly anxious. You can see in that video a lot of stress signals. There's a lot of lip licking, a lot of facial tension, a lot of yawning. And the pet parent does go on to describe that the dog is very anxious in the house and even more anxious outside of the house. And the presenting concern is potty training. The dog cannot go potty outside. He is not taking food outside. He also does not take treats or high value food inside very easily either. He sounds like he's experiencing a lot of GI distress, and they have tried things like Adaptil collars and calming sprays and things like that. But the puppy's level of stress is still very high, and they are asking for guidance on how to potty train. So these are my thoughts. I'm Gabrielle Johnson. I'm a certified dog behavior consultant with a bachelor's degree in psychology and sociology, and I specialize in nervous system dysregulation and aggressive behavior. Nervous system dysregulation includes things like anxiety disorders, trauma, hyperarousal, hypoarousal, and chronic stress. So this is one of those situations where the potty training issue is a symptom of a much bigger foundational issue. This puppy is experiencing toxic levels of stress hormones. Their sympathetic nervous system is fully activated. And when that happens, the digestive system goes offline. That's likely why the puppy is not interested in food. We can see incredible GI upset, like you're describing. And no good learning is taking place. You can think of a stress scale, green, yellow, orange, red. And in the green zone, where we're experiencing good levels of stress hormones, this is an oversimplification, but you can think of all of the body's resources going towards the thinking brain, the prefrontal cortex, towards the parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest. That's where we're going to see things like the immune system, the reproductive system, the digestive system working well. Because when you're in the green zone and you're safe, your nervous system perceives you as safe, you can be curious and problem solve and learn and engage in pro-social behavior and fight off colds and eat pizza and do math problems. But when you're up here in the red zone experiencing toxic levels of stress, imagine that more of those resources are going to the limbic system in the midbrain, the sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight. We don't need to eat pizza or fight off colds or do math problems or reproduce or be curious. We need to survive. So more resources go to increasing the heart rate, the cardiovascular system, the respiratory system, the circulatory system. We need to be fast and strong. We don't need to learn or eat or fight off colds. Your puppy is in adolescence, which is an especially vulnerable time to be experiencing toxic levels of stress hormones on a chronic basis. And this impacts not only their behavioral health, but also their mental and emotional health and their physical health. Chronic exposure to toxic levels of stress hormones lead to everything physically from allergies to cancer, in part because the immune system can't work efficiently. And so what really needs to be addressed is the extreme anxiety that this puppy is experiencing, and then the potty training piece will come. The very first thing to do in this situation is to get out of crisis mode. This puppy needs to come back down the stress scale. This is a physical medical issue at this point. I would recommend talking with your veterinarian immediately and going to davcb.org to find a board-certified veterinary behaviorist. Board-certified veterinary behaviorists tend to have waiting lists though, so I would start with your general practitioner. If your general practitioner is not comfortable discussing behavior medication, I would ask for a referral to one who is. And in most situations like this, veterinarians will prescribe event medication. There are sort of two categories, and there's a bit of overlap between them in behavior medication. When we talk about maintenance medications, those are medications that the dog takes daily. They should not be sedating. They take 4 to 8 weeks to kick in generally, and they work in tandem with behavior therapy to reduce the dog's physiological stress response, to increase their resilience to stress, and to increase their ability to self-regulate. Event medication works within somewhere between 15 minutes, and most take closer to 2 or 3 hours to start working. They wear off after several hours, and they are sedating. They are generally used for situations of acute stress like fireworks, vet visits, car rides. However, in situations like this, they may be used around the clock while the veterinarian waits for the maintenance medication to take effect, if that is then also prescribed, as would almost certainly be indicated in a dog experiencing levels of stress at that level and for that period of time. That's the first step in a situation like this to get the dog out of crisis. The dog is then going to get a lot of sleep. It's exhausting to be that terrified for that long. From there, we need management. So how do we, for now, simply reduce exposure to triggers? It's very, very difficult when the inside and the outside are terrifying. This might include making a sanctuary spot for the dog. The pet parent mentioned a lot of really great things that I would use in this sanctuary spot. You can use calming music, noise blockers like white, brown, green, pink noise, or calming music, or a box fan, calming sprays. We might give the dog, if it's some of it's trial and error, figuring out, like, do they like to go into like a quiet dark space, like under something or inside of something? Do they prefer like a bed in a corner? I would likely, in a case like this, set up an indoor potty space and not worry about going outside right now. Although my best hope would be that once the dog has had a chance to come down with the use of event medication from those high levels of stress, that perhaps outside could be something that they could handle on the event medication. But for right now, knowing that inside is scary enough, I would leave it there. I would maybe set the puppy up to be in an area of the house where I could set up like puppy pads or something, so they don't have to go to a specific area. It's just the space that they're in. There would be a lot of troubleshooting, but the idea is that we need to then environmentally get management in place to reduce stressors as much as possible. And then the next step is behavior therapy. But again, that has to happen once we're out of crisis mode. To this pet parent, I would be happy to talk more about this if you'd like. This is not a sales pitch, but I do work with clients virtually, and so all over the world. If you would like to send me a message, or just to talk more, I can send you additional resources that you can look over, videos to watch, articles to read, that sort of thing. You're welcome to message me with the information in my bio. But adolescence is a really rough time, even when one is not in a state of crisis. And so my very next call would be to the veterinarian. It is clear that you love this puppy very much, and I am so glad that he is in good hands with someone who is so patient and cares so much about how he's feeling. Let me know if I can be of further support.